It's time now for our Common Ground segment. Joining me tonight, Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet and Florida Republican Congresswoman María Salazar. Thank you both for being here. Our first bipartisan, bicameral Common Ground. And you're working on the Children's Court Act. We're going to talk about that in just a second. One of the things that is pressing on Capitol Hill now is aid for Israel. There is a debate between House and Senate right now about how to deal with that. Congresswoman, Speaker Johnson wants to move forward with a separate Israel aid bill. Is that where you are?
Fine. Whatever help we can give to Israel, we have to have done it yesterday. So if he wants to bring that bill individually, we'll vote on it. And if he wants to bring it together with Ukraine, at least I will vote for it, because we know what the Russians do to people and we know what Hamas does to Israel. So we got to help both.
So Senator Schumer, others have said it's not going to work unless it's all together.
Well, I think Senator Schumer and Senator McConnell have both said that. I think they both understand that we need to honor our commitments here to Israel and to Ukraine. We shouldn't cut and run. I agree 100% with the Congresswoman that this is the thing that Vladimir Putin would want most, is for us to decide that we're tired of this and we're going home.
But, Senator, you don't think that President Biden's going to veto Israel aid if it comes through the House?
I don't think we should play political games here. You know, I was the guy the other day that held up the budget because we were passing a bill with no Ukraine aid. My mom was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1938, a Polish Jew. She knows what is done to people, you know, when they're forgotten. The United States, above all other countries in the world, has a special responsibility here that we have to fulfill.
Congresswoman, there is a split in the Republican caucus on Ukraine issue, on the Ukraine funding issue.
Because maybe they know what the senator and myself, we know. I represent the city of Miami, the heart of the Cuban exile community. The Cubans know exactly what the Russians do. If we send the message to Vladimir Putin that we're going to forget because we got tired, then he says, all right, the next thing I need to do is Poland. And then he will be a lot bigger and it's going to cost us a lot more. Right now, Ukraine is costing only 5% of the Pentagon budget. Not one American soldier has died. If that were to change, it's going to be a lot more American troops having to intervene, and a lot more money.
And this is part of what you're talking about, is concern about what's happening on the border, specifically for children. This is the Children's Court Act of 2023, a bipartisan bill, both in the Senate and the House, to address the backlog and removal proceedings, train judges in trauma-informed practice, ensure children are engaged in the process, utilize child-appropriate procedures, expedite access to legal counsel. This seems like a massive problem along the border, Senator.
It's a huge problem, and I think it's an amazing thing that we have a bipartisan bill that reflects both the Senate and the House, you know, for once. And I think it's because we know we have kids that are at stake here. And as I mentioned earlier, my mom was separated from her parents for 3 years during the Holocaust. You know, these have lifetime effects on kids. And all we're saying is, let's have judges that actually have experience with kids, work with kids to make sure at the border, to make sure that they're actually getting, you know, into the situations they need to, instead of subjecting them to child trafficking or to child labor, those kinds of things.
The unaccompanied minors, Congresswoman, along the southwest border, if you look at the fiscal years, 2020, 2021, 22, now it's 137,000 in 2023.
250,000 children have entered the country illegally in the last 2 years. And most of them are Hispanics, which is, I represent, like I said, the city of Miami. 75% of my district is Hispanic. So these kids, just imagine what we're doing. Once again, the United States is saying that we are the best country on earth, because we cannot erase what they had to go through crossing through Central America, but we can help them not continue with the trauma after they get to the border. We can, and I commend the senator, because in reality it was his idea, and I'm delighted that we can work together, Republicans and Democrats, to show the rest of the country that we are trying to do the best with those. But let me tell you something, and something else that I think is very important. Child sex traffickers are having a field day. So this bill is going to make sure that we do not give back to those child sex traffickers once they have entered, because that's happening right now. There are 85,000 children who we don't know where they are. They may be in the hands of the traffickers again.
That's really amazing. Tara Lee Rodas was a HHS whistleblower back in April, the House Judiciary Committee. Here's a piece of what she said.
Now, whether it's intentional or not, it could be argued that the United States government has become the middleman in a large-scale, multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation that is run by bad actors seeking to profit off of the lives of children.
Yeah. This seems like one of those things that you can, around the edges, start to address.
Yeah, just around the edges, and maybe that's a place where we can start. You know, I believe we should resolve the situation for the 11 million people here that are undocumented. I believe that we should have a secure border. I was part of the Gang of Eight in 2013 who wrote the last comprehensive bill that did get 68 votes in the Senate, you know, and I think the country in many ways would be a better place if we had been able to get that through the House of Representatives, because we wouldn't have left all these political questions unresolved. You know, we wouldn't have all these people in America living in the shadows, driving down wages because we haven't been able to get our act together here. Maybe if we can get one piece of business done together, it can show people other things that we can also get done.
The problem with the border, it's national security. It's not only immigration. It's national security is providing the entrepreneurs and the business class the hands they need. We have 8 million vacancies, and we have those illegals here that could come out of the shadows, not necessarily they don't want a path to citizenship. They just want dignity to live a dignified life in the promised land. But we do have to fix immigration. Otherwise, we're not the United States anymore. But that's coming up, and I'm sure that senator is going to help me do that, pass it in the Senate.
There you go. See if we can figure it out right here. Congresswoman, Senator, thanks for the time.